The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and are not necessarily those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. Time now for European Kitchens and Bath here on WSTU. Call in with questions and comments. 220-9788. 220-WSTU. Now here's your host, John Campion.
Hey, good evening, everybody on the Treasure Coast. Your host today, John Campion, with European Kitchens and Bath, and my world-famous co-host,
knock it off,
Frank Mezzapel. And I have to say one thing about Frank. He left the Michigan jersey at home, and he's wearing his Michigan State Spartans, which is fine with me.
Yeah, my sister and my brother both graduated from State. So the ongoing family joke is I always wear U of M gear when I go up to see them, which drives them crazy. And then they buy State gear and then send me home with fresh clothes. So it's a win-win.
Frank, my sister and my brother both graduated from Michigan State.
See?
And
good deal.
But as my brother says, his money and his two kids went to Michigan. And of course, I went to Western Michigan in Kalamazoo with us both being Michigan boys. And the reason I went there is I went up to take an entrance type exam to see. I was right on the border of getting accepted by the Michigan State people.
Okay.
So I had to go up and take this exam. Well,
Right.
the problem is, my brother was still going to school, and we went out at the time. This is back in the mid-'70s. We went to a very famous bar in downtown East Lansing called Lizards.
Okay.
And we partied all night. And I went to that test, and I didn't. I ended up down the road in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
And in the end, my brother did the 7.5-year program at Michigan State. Wow. And he's now the big corporate weenie flying around the world making lots of money. And I'm down here being his thanks. So I'm down here being his he told me to come down here and become his millionaire mogul retail brother, but I'm just in retail.
Well, all right. Well, it's all right. So you found a different way to a different path.
That's how we found each other, Frank. But anyways, I over here is our fantastic, very excited to have as my guest today, Maddie Williams from the Treasure Coast Builders Association. She is the executive director of this group, and I want to
TCBA,
Treasure Coast Builders Association. Right. Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, okay.
How we doing?
She's on the wrong mic. She changed mics on me. Okay, now you're there. There you go. Try it now.
Now I can say thanks, John. It's a pleasure to be here.
There you go. Well done.
I thought I was reading lips there for a minute.
Yeah, right.
She said exactly what you said.
The mouth is moving.
Twice.
Where's the audio? Yeah.
Well, actually, the things that come out of her mouth are always very good. First, I want to preface this by saying, Maddie, I'm so happy to have you here. We've got 25 minutes to spill our beans, and primarily because I have so much respect for you and what you do for the organization, and the fact that she is probably one of the top executive directors in the country.
Wow.
Right?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but
I would.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'll take it.
But I know you've gotten a lot of recognition. We are. I'll probably let you say all this stuff.
You're using the euphemistic "we," right?
We.
Yes.
We, the organization, I think is what he's trying to say.
The organization. No, I was speking French.
Oh, okay.
We.
All right.
I think what he's trying to tell you is that we're a federation. So we have our local association with our local members, and in turn, they are also become members of the Florida Home Builders Association and also the National Association of Home Builders.
Okay.
So we participate on behalf of our members, both locally, state, and nationally.
And
very good.
And I got to tell you, the TCBA, as we'll just whatever you call it. Is that a euphemism?
Euphemistically? No, it's a acronym.
Acronym. Thank
Yes.
you. Frank is
Yes.
a worldly. He's from Detroit. I'm from the other side of the state. He's also older than me.
I'm older than anybody.
No,
Everybody.
everybody in this room.
Yeah.
But the whole thing behind it is that the involvement of the local TCBA, which is Martin, St. Lucie, Okeechobee, and Indian River counties, is recognized as one of the top organizations. How many organizations in the state?
Well, we have 23 locals, just like the Treasure Coast Builders Association. And then, of course, we have a state association. And then in every state, there's a state association. So the country has 50 states, and then all the locals fall under their
All right, so basically
state.
23 groups in
Just
our
in the state of Florida,
and
yeah.
we're recognized as one of the top ones. And we
Nice.
have several of our members who are involved, kind of up in the boards, and it can get a little hairy. It's even the people in our organization don't understand it, but they clap for them anyways. But we have one of our builders in our group was picked as the Builder of the Year in the state of Florida, and that's Ronnie Kirchman from Kirchman Construction.
Yes.
So,
Good local boy.
yeah, so Ronnie, next time you're in front of me at the buffet and making fun of me or getting that beer, just let you know I gave you a free shout out,
Yeah.
and Maddie can back me up.
Absolutely. He contributes a lot, both locally and at the state level. He's the membership director here for us and also for the state.
Oh, wow.
So he's done an awful
is
lot for
involved,
Getting
Yeah.
he's very
members.
in-
So,
yeah.
I joined the TCBA probably, I don't know, back when I had hair. No, it was after that. But great Don got me in.
Don Santos. Well,
Don Buford.
Oh, Dennis Buford.
Dennis Buford,
Yeah.
God rest his soul, what a great guy. He got me in, and I was at a time where things were just kind of changing. Things had kind of started to fall off. The organization changed a little bit. And now, in theory, we have about 425 members, which a builder is like a builder, and a guy like me who owns a business is an associate. And it's so when you combine all the people like that work for an associate, and with the builders, we have like 5,000 members in the county alone, in the counties alone. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, just real briefly, Maddie. Well, maybe you can tell. I have a list here, so I can cheat. But what is the TCBA comprised of? We're talking about builders
Right.
and associates, but
Yeah.
it's a huge array of people.
Right, and it's all different kinds of builders as well. It's commercial, industrial, but mostly small residential home builders. We have a lot of the big boys, the D.R. Hortons, the Coulters, as members as well. But really, the majority of our participation comes from our small local builders. So, and then they in turn, of course, use subcontractors. So our associate members are the subcontractors. So it's basically anybody that can contribute to the construction industry. So if you sell kitchen and bath products, then you should be a member here because
Yeah,
that's
don't
something.
forget to come and see me. Go
At
ahead.
one of his two locations here in
Thank you.
Stewart and in Vero Beach.
Thank you, dear.
Very good.
So, and so the associate members, whether you're doing supplies, lumber, banks, because everybody needs financing, realtors, even a website. I mean, every business
every
that's
type
a
of
member
thing.
here, has to
You
have
can
a
have
website.
a couple radio
and-
stations in there, Frank.
We do, and a lot of all our local builders associations are members here. One of the things that we bring to the table for our members is our advocacy efforts. And we're really proud to say that a building official comes to every one of our chapter meetings. So in Port St. Lucie, in our St. Lucie County chapter, the building official from City of Port St. Lucie and his staff, as well as the staff from the county, they attend every one of our meetings. So if any of our builders are having issues or subcontractors pulling permits or anything like that, they can sit with the officials and have a cup of coffee and talk about it versus trying to talk across the desk.
Right.
Or bitch and complain about how messed up the building department is in getting permits. I mean,
well, and to the building department's credit, they include us.
Yeah.
in all of their workshops and things like that, so that they can have our direct input, so they can
feedback's
give us
important.
better
Yeah.
service.
And you know who the first person they call when they have something going on? Maddie Williams.
Yes.
She is amazing, honestly. Now, Dee Dee, if you're listening,
Yeah.
you know that the second coolest woman who gets things done to you is Maddie. Okay, I see you shaking your head out there. But Maddie knows how I feel about her, and I just have so much respect for her and how much time she puts into this. And her husband Danny, together they are going into saint and martyrhood or whatever the hell happens, later on.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without my husband, Dan, and he's listening. So hi, honey. Shout out.
Very good.
Hey, you still got that mustache?
Well, part of it.
Yeah. But, with that said, one of the cooler things, other than we're going to talk quickly at some point some events, because we saw one of the older plaques out there from the
Fishing tournament.
12th annual Treasure Coast Builders Fishing Tournament.
Yeah, I think the one out there was the 16th annual, and this year we have the 32nd annual.
Wow.
So your plaque out there was recognition for the support of WSTU and WPSL, because you guys are always great about helping us promote our events. And that was my first year as tournament director.
Excellent.
So it's been 16 years with the association, and this is my 17th tournament.
Good.
So
golly, yeah.
it's a long-standing.
We need a fresh placard up there.
I will bring you one. I promise.
We'll talk about that. I mean, the other thing I want to say is Maddie replaced a legend icon.
Yeah, I didn't
with
replace,
us.
but I tried to pick up the torch that she left behind.
We had the Kavanaughs it was before George was before me, but Gail, who we just lost in the last year, she was another amazing woman. So Maddie, you're
she was a great
third.
mentor for
No,
me.
just kidding.
And really helped me grow in this position, and she was really great about supporting me in my professional development.
The amount of people in the Treasure Coast who have rubbed elbows, touched, hugged, dealt with these people is a number of people that you and I cannot imagine.
Wow.
So I just, when we start talking about, back when the river was clear and you could see down to the bottom, these people were pioneering what has evolved in this area, and Maddie has kept that going. And probably one of the biggest things that I know you're psyched about is the Future Builders of America, which is we involve not OUI, Usums.
Okay.
But we have few of the counties with the schools we have programs for them and
for students. Yeah.
Yes, and the big discussion all the time is where are our trades going to come from?
Right.
What's going on? It's a huge
There's
thing.
a big demand for blue collar folks.
Why don't you just
tradesmen.
give us your spiel on
I
this?
can give you my 10 seconds on that. One of our main focuses this year is our workforce development efforts. And we can't do that without partnering with every other organization in this area, from Career Source, Research Coast, to the Economic Development Council, the chambers, and, of course, the local school boards. So what we do is we go into the high schools and mentor the students that are in construction programs, whether it's carpentry or drafting, architecture, anything like that. We'll go in and mentor them, bring in guest speakers. We take them on field trips, and most importantly, we provide scholarships for them, whether they want to go on to college or if they want to go to a trade school. We fully funded a young man who went to plumbing school down in Palm Beach for 2 years, and we fully funded his tuition, and we do whatever we can to help build that workforce, because the median age of a construction worker is like 53 years old.
Right.
So we're all getting old, because I'm past that myself. So it's really, really important to bring up the younger people, to get them into the industry and let them know that construction is not a four-letter word. It's not everybody's going to go to college, and I know a lot of people say that, but really, I didn't go to college, and I did pretty well for myself, but I graduated from high school with a 2-year business degree. So that was my foundation. And these students in these local high schools, that's exactly what they're getting. They're getting the foundation to be able to go directly into the workforce, or which we will support, or they can go on to college and we'll support that as well. So
Excellent.
It really is amazing,
Yeah.
and I personally, because I went to one of the things a couple of years ago. I got to interview some kids, and I'm the worst at interviewing people for a job, so I leave that to Ken in my office, anyways. But it was fun,
Yeah.
And for the guys involved in building or the subjects that they're working on, I mean, everybody gets jazzed by it. I think it energizes and makes everybody feel good, and what it does for the kids and the interests that they have. I think South Fork is the only school in.
the Martin County School, but now Jensen Beach High School has a drafting program.
Great.
So they're making it more important, and they're putting it back in the curriculum because they know that these are going to be great jobs for these students.
Right, and more importantly, these students are coming from this area, and they're going to want to stay here and continue to be here.
That's
the biggest loss of all our community faces.
It does.
Isn't that?
One of our past
Yeah.
presidents, Jeff Bowers, he calls it the brain drain.
Yeah.
He says we bring up these kids and they have
So
a great
true.
life and we support them, and off to college they go and they don't come home.
Right.
I did that for both my daughters. Off to college they went and they didn't come back home.
See.
But they have great lives, and that's what you want for your kids.
Of
But
course.
we really need that base back here at home.
And that's what, we talk about that. We get to hear some of the same people who are in, whether it's the commissioners or the mayors or the principals or whatever organization. We're very fortunate that when we're involved in a lot of these different business groups, we get to hear and see things that other people don't.
You getting the inside skinny. What's
Absolutely.
going on?
And so that is one reason why Maddie's kept me around. I was on the board of directors with them. She's training me to become a life director.
A life director.
Yes.
What is that?
It
Yeah,
means
what is
that
it, man?
Do you get
well,
like a
you're
red
getting pretty
cross,
close.
Well,
If
you
badge?
spoil me.
If you keep up your attendance, you're close. I think you're within a year or so
Wow.
to get his life directorship.
I need an exemption through the end of May, Frank, because it's the
Third
Tuesday of every
Oh
month,
my God.
and I've been here
Yes.
entertaining everybody on the drive home.
Which is equally as important.
Hey, speaking of which, if you want to call in and ask us something,
Yeah.
we have a call-in number, and it is 220-9788. 220-9788, which is WSTU
Yes.
9788. Is that too many? That's too many things.
Well, actually, 220 WSTU.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You had it right, but just in reverse order.
Man,
Well, that's
it's
funny.
upside down.
Yeah.
Because it's 336 TCBA
Okay.
or 562 TCBA.
Nice.
Okay.
Or, yeah, see?
Well,
so we all do that.
Yes, it's really cool.
For those that have ever wondered, when you're zipping up US 1 and you're passing through Port St. Lucie,
Yeah.
and you're going to get right up there below where the cars are, it's above Prima Vista, and you see on the right, they just tore down the Norris Ribs. There's a big TCBA sign on a pole, and that is where our TCBA office is. It's where the corporate headquarters and meeting headquarters. They hold a lot of events for people to earn more credits in the industry and all kinds of stuff. I'm sitting there going, how much time
We
do
have
you got, Frank?
no, you're good. We have a great complimentary event this coming Thursday morning. Is that tomorrow? No, 2 days
Yeah.
from now. It's calling it a breakfast briefing, and everyone's invited to come. It's complimentary breakfast sponsored by C&W Technologies, who is going to talk about cybersecurity. So any business, member or non-member, is welcome to come and attend, but you must RSVP. You can call the office, 336 TCBA, and RSVP to make sure we have enough food for you. But it's another member benefit that we provide for our members, whether they're lunch and learns or breakfast briefings.
Frank and I are pretty jazzed because
Yeah.
while you've been sitting here, we've been rattling off names. We're members. This is how I learned this is how I learned radio. No, we're members of the Martin County Business Exchange, which is the longest running networking group in Martin County.
Yes.
And Jeff Bowers.
And I've had the privilege of being a guest at that.
Yes, you
and
have been. You have
Yeah.
been. That's right. And Eric Keene are both members of that, and we're very fortunate. So we like to think we have the best of the best, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We are category specific.
There you go. So
which
it's
means
all
we
good.
don't have any duplications.
Right.
There's only
right.
one Eric Keene, for example.
There is one only,
Yes.
and there's only one Jeff Bowers.
Yes.
Thank God for that, right?
Yes, so
God,
what his
Jeff,
wife
I hope
says.
you're not listening. Yeah, that's true. Poor Lisa. She's in the same boat as my wife, Dee Dee. But anyways, those are great things to have brought up regarding that. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about the fishing tournament? Or is there something else you wanted to
Well,
say?
yeah, if I can just finish up on the workforce development efforts, we have a couple of really important programs going on right now. We're in the middle of a Youth Build project, which is a national program, and it's partnered with Indian River State College, Career Source Research Coast, and St. Lucie Habitat for Humanity. And that we have 22 students right now switching days, college, they're taking classes on day one, and on day two they go to the job site and put what they're learning in construction technologies to use and building a house for somebody from Habitat for Humanity. And our May meeting will be at the college, where we're going to do a job fair specifically for the 22 students that are involved in the Youth Build project. So when they graduate from this program, they will be ready to go right into the workforce. So they finish the program in June, and so our May meeting is the job fair. So we're going to invite all of our members to come and encourage them to bring their resumes and try to get them employed on the day they graduate from this program.
And that graduation date is?
They graduate in, I think it's the first week in June.
Okay.
But our
Okay.
job fair is the second Thursday of April.
Frank does all those weird finger things.
I know.
Yes.
I'm
That's
watching
okay.
him.
It's all right. It's
So
it's
anyway,
Braille.
It's radio.
Yeah.
We use hand gestures in radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
and one of the other things I wanted to mention, they're also helping Habitat for Humanity build a tiny house. And it's going to be kind of the first
Like
of its
a
kind
tiny house
here.
like
a
we see on
tiny
TV?
house. Yeah, I believe it's like 24 by 8.
So what is this? It's a different scale? Is it like 1/3 scale? Or?
Well,
No,
have you
no.
ever
It's,
seen
somebody
Tiny
can
House on
actually
TV?
live in it.
Oh, it's just a miniature house.
Well,
tiny
it's a
house.
small house.
Yeah.
It's going to be full size. It'll
Yeah.
have a kitchen
Full
and
scale,
a
but
bathroom. And, yeah.
24
And a
by
s-
8.
Right. And it'll be there'll be a sleep loft to it. I've
Right.
seen the plans. Anyway, these students are going to help build this. And then Habitat for Humanity is going to auction it off on April 28th. They're going to move it from where they're building it on the college campus, and they're going to move it to the Restore on US 1 in Port St. Lucie. And they're going to auction it off. So
That's
that
pretty
should be a
cool.
really great
Turn it
event.
into money, right? Yeah.
Well, and what they're going to do with the money is, again, turn it over and build more.
Right.
Because it's going to be the solution for, number one, affordable housing.
Right.
And it's actually can fit on a template for, of course, the Key West was demolished in Hurricane Irma. So it can actually fit on the footprint of all those mobile homes that
We're there.
were there.
Neat.
So the housing down there, of course, there is no housing in Key West left.
No.
So it's
really.
going to help a multitude of different things.
Wow.
But
Very
affordable
creative.
housing being the number one thing, which is, again, another priority for TCBA. But I do want to mention the fishing tournament before we run
We
out
got
of
like
time.
2 minutes,
Yeah.
Frank?
Yes.
Yeah, so
See
it's
how
our
fast-
32nd annual. The festivities take place May 25th is the captain's party.
Okay.
The whole world is invited.
It's a great party.
It's a great party, and we fish on Saturday, May 26th. And again, we have the awards banquet afterwards. All the events take place at Pirates Cove Resort and Marina. And like I said, everybody's invited to participate. We're looking for sponsors and boat entries and door prizes and all those things. So if you want to participate
cool
in
is
any
that?
way,
Captain's party will wear you out.
yeah, it does. I think last year we had about 800 people at the
Yeah,
captain's
how do you
party.
get through that? Yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
But Maddie, we didn't have enough time for everything because
That's okay. We
you
talked
and
about
I-
the important stuff.
We did, and we've got a nice. TCBA has a nice website you can go to.
www.treasurecoastba.com.
And you just Google TCBA and it pops up, and that's how I always go in there because I can't remember all that stuff.
Well, Maddie can always be a recurring guest.
She
too,
could.
if there's
I'd
she
love
could.
to be.
something that
She's one of the first people I thought about when you talked me into all this fun stuff, Frank. But hey, and by the way, Frank and I are back here tomorrow night.
yes, we are.
With the MCBE radio show. We have a 1-hour show with one of our guests, and our guest will be Eric Keene.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, nice.
So, Maddie, thanks for that nice plug for Eric. He gets double bonus points.
He's gonna like that.
It's been John Campion with my Tuesday night show. I'm having a good time. Thank you for listening. Sorry we didn't get any callers. Well, one of these days we will.
Yeah.
And my guest today has been Maddie Williams, who is the executive director of the Treasure Coast Builders Association. I love her so much, and when you meet her, if you haven't, you will too.
All right.
And of course, my great co-host Frank, world famous Mezzapel, the Detroit Demolition Man.
All right.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, John.
All
We'll
right.
see you tomorrow.
Everybody be safe. We'll see you next week.